Good evening and welcome to NewsNight. Tonight we'll have all your international, national, and local news. I'm Sam Myrick.
And I'm Annabelle Gizzi. The nightmare in the country's airports may be coming to an end after much deliberation in Congress. We'll give you the latest details on what the DHS is doing for STA agents.
Plus, the draft is only 3 weeks away, and the city is getting ready for the massive crowds of people. We'll have information on the performers setting the mood of the crowd and what City Council is doing about parking.
All this and more coming up on NewsNight.
We're starting out our broadcast with breaking news coming from the Trump administration.
That's right. Trump has announced that Pam Bondi is now out of her position as Attorney General after being there for over a year.
In a statement on Truth Social, Trump stated that Bondi was, quote, a great American patriot and a loyal friend who faithfully served as my Attorney General, end quote. He also stated that she will be transitioning to a new job in the private sector, but did not say what it was.
In her place will be Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who served as Trump's attorney during his classified documents case in 2024. He will need to be confirmed by the Senate to be officially set in the position.
Spain has closed off its airspace from United States military involved in the Iran war. The country had already stated that the U.S. could not use joint military bases for the war. Defense Minister Margarita Robles announced this, saying, quote, we don't authorize either the use of military bases or the use of airspace for actions related to the war in Iran, end quote. Trump threatened to cut trade with Spain due to their lack of support for this war in early March. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has spoken out against the war many times, saying, quote, we are a sovereign country that does not wish to take part in illegal wars, end quote. Robles has also said the war is, quote, profoundly illegal and profoundly unjust, end quote.
A dramatic rescue effort is underway off the coast of northern Germany, where a humpback whale remains stranded in the shallow waters of the Baltic Sea. The whale, believed to be a young male, has been stuck along the coastline for days, repeatedly becoming trapped on sandbanks as rescuers race against time to guide it back to deeper water. Marine experts say, quote, the situation is critical as the animal grows weaker with each passing day, end quote. Crews have used everything from boats and drones to heavy machinery in an effort to free the massive animal, even digging channels in the sand to create a path back to open water. But despite those efforts, the whale has continued to struggle, at times briefly freeing itself before becoming stranded again. Scientists say humpback whales are not native to the Baltic Sea, and the region's shallow, low salinity waters make survival difficult. Experts believe the whale may have become disoriented or followed food into unfamiliar territory, leaving it trapped in an environment it's not equipped to navigate. Now, officials are scaling back intervention, instead giving the whale space in hopes it can find its own way out. But with signs of exhaustion and declining health, concerns are growing that the time may be running out.
A Russian military plane has crashed in Crimea, Europe, killing 29 people on board. Yesterday, Russian Defense Ministry officials say the military transport plane went missing Tuesday while flying over the Crimean Peninsula, which Russia illegally annexed from Ukraine in 2014. Officials confirmed the crash took the lives of 6 crew members and 23 passengers. Reports by Russian news agencies say, according to preliminary information, the crash was caused by technical malfunction.
Golf legend Tiger Woods is facing new legal trouble following a rollover crash in Florida. Authorities say Woods was arrested last week on suspicion of driving under the influence after his SUV clipped a truck and flipped onto its side near his home. Deputies on scene report signs of impairment and conducted field sobriety tests before taking him into custody. According to investigators, a breath test showed no alcohol in Woods' system, but he refused to take a urine test that could detect drugs or other substances. That refusal is now part of the charges he faces, which include DUI with property damage and declining a lawful test. Woods has pleaded not guilty and says he plans to seek treatment as he steps away from golf. The 15-time major champion is now dealing with both legal uncertainty and questions about his future in the sport. No injuries were reported in the crash, but the case remains under investigation, with Woods expecting back in court in the coming weeks.
TSA workers have begun to receive pay for their work during the ongoing partial government shutdown. This pay comes from an order by President Donald Trump. The partial shutdown began over 40 days ago, and workers have received at least 2 weeks of back pay. Whether the employees will receive their next paycheck is still uncertain. Trump says in the order, quote, "As the Democrat-caused shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security continues well into its 6th week, America's air travel system has reached its breaking point," end quote. The order allows TSA workers to be paid with funds that, according to the Secretary of Homeland Security and Director of the Office of Management and Budget, quote, "have a reasonable and logical nexus to TSA operations," end quote. After the break, hear about how a beloved local restaurant is shutting down its doors after nearly 3 decades. Plus, we'll have the latest updates to how SGA is changing how students vote in elections. All this and more when we come back.
It's a tough crowd.
Has been charged for the crash at the Rivers Casino on the North Shore that occurred last weekend. Police were called at around 4 a.m. last Sunday when a woman ran into glass doors near an elevator on the 4th floor of the garage, injuring 2 people. The car drove away after the crash, leaving broken glass and fallen metal pillars. The 2 injured were hospitalized, one with a dislocated shoulder and the other with head pain and minor cuts and abrasions. They are confirmed to be in stable condition. The driver, a 30-year-old woman named Jasmine Aiken, turned herself in hours later. Aiken explained to the police that she thought her foot was on the brake when she accelerated and that she left the site because she panicked.
A disturbing case out of Uniontown, Pennsylvania, is raising serious concerns tonight after a woman is accused of attempting to harm 2 young children she was supposed to be watching. According to investigators, 40-year-old Vira Zubukedo is facing multiple charges including aggravated assault and unlawful restraint following a frightening incident inside of an apartment in Fayette County. Police say the children's mother had left a 5-year-old and 11-year-old sons in Zubukedo's care while she stepped out briefly. But when she returned, she was unable to get back inside, and when she finally did, she says she witnessed something shocking. Authorities say Zabuko was allegedly attempting to push the 5-year-old boy out of a 3rd-story window. Investigators also say the situation escalated further inside the apartment. According to the criminal complaint, Zabuko allegedly forced the child and the mother into a bathroom, telling the boy to, quote, "wash the sins out," end quote, before attempting to hold them under the water in a bathtub. A struggle broke out, but the mother was ultimately able to escape with both children. When police arrived, they found them shaken and soaking wet, but thankfully not seriously injured.
SGA has overhauled how its elections will be handled moving forward, now going ahead with a ranked choice voting system. The initiative, brought to motion by President Pro Tempore and President-elect Riley Mahone, has been brought up multiple times over the past year, with the motion passing unanimously with no discussion this past Monday. The method will ask students to rank candidates on a scale of 1 to 5. If no one has the majority after the first round, the candidate with the least number of votes will be eliminated, and those votes will then be distributed to the voter's second pick. This continues until someone has reached a majority. The new method is planned to be ready for use by next year's election. With the NFL draft just around the corner, hundreds of thousands of people are going to be arriving in our city and in downtown. The city is urging people to walk, take public transit, or even take the Gateway Clipper. However, without a doubt, many people will be driving. Reporter Juliana Brock is here to tell us what parking rules the city is changing for the draft. Juliana?
street parking rates could face an increase in hourly prices with the NFL draft coming to town. The city of Pittsburgh proposed an uptick in street parking in downtown and on the north side, up to $5 an hour. This is a temporary increase, lasting from 12:01 a.m. April 22nd to 12:01 a.m. April 27th. City Council member Bobby Wilson told the media that the purpose of the increase is to balance the cost of having more parking enforcement staff and preventing residential streets from being overloaded. Violators of this rule will face a $120 fine. He also mentioned that the current violators at meters are, quote, unlikely to serve as a disincentive. The surrounding garages will also be charging higher rates, all at different costs. 5 streets on the north side will be exempt from this price increase, those being Middle Street, East Ohio Street, Perrysville Avenue, California Avenue, and James Street.
With the 2026 NFL Draft coming here to the city of Pittsburgh in just 3 weeks, the headliners for the NFL Draft Entertainment Series were announced today. Kane Brown is joining Butler County's own Bret Michaels and Pittsburgh's own Wiz Khalifa set to perform during draft weekend and to kick off night 1 of the draft. Pittsburgh's own Kells will perform the national anthem. Khalifa and Michaels are both set to perform by kicking off the festivities at 5:15 p.m. ahead of night 2 of the draft. And as the draft wraps up on day 3, Kane Brown will have the final performance to cap off the draft weekend.
A local brewery native to Pittsburgh recently announced it is closing its doors after more than 30 years of service. Fathead Saloon in Pittsburgh's South Side took to social media on Tuesday announcing its closure. They wrote, quote, after 34 incredible years, we've made the difficult decision to close the door of Fathead Saloon on Pittsburgh's South Side. Closing the doors is incredibly difficult, but we do it with pride, gratitude, and a lifetime of memories, end quote. Fathead's first opened in 1992 and has won many awards for their craft brews. The social media post thanked the regulars who frequented the location and the workers, past and present, who helped to keep the place alive. They stated that April 17th will be a last call event to celebrate the longevity of the business and the relationships that have fostered there. The doors will be closing on April 26th. Fatheads concluded their social media post saying, quote, from the bottom of our hearts, thank yins for 34 unforgettable years, end quote.
A local Pittsburgh man is being charged in a fatal hit-and-run that took place last summer. 19-year-old Jackson Farrell of Oakdale was driving on the southern Beltway ramp of Route 22 when he struck and killed 46-year-old tractor-trailer driver Brian Everhart of Russellville, Tennessee, on the afternoon of August 25th. Everhart was pulled onto the side of the road to check out a mechanical issue with the truck he was driving when Farrell struck Everhart while he was outside of his truck and drove away. According to investigators, Farrell continued driving until his car broke down on the side of the road. Farrell attempted to fix his car and continue driving, but Pennsylvania state troopers did catch up to question him. Per investigation, Farrell is facing charges including homicide by vehicle, aggravated assault by vehicle, reckless driving, tampering with evidence, driving under the influence of alcohol or controlled substance, and driving without a license. Farrell's preliminary hearing is scheduled to take place on May 28th. Stick around till after the break. We'll be sure to bring you the forecast for what your weekend and next week looks like. Don't go anywhere.
A lady in Los Angeles, California reunites with her dog after 5 years. Michelle Bluestone lives in Ross City, Los Angeles, California, and her Schnauzer mix named Lola went missing in 2021 after escaping from her parents' home. Bluestone put up flyers, looked at nearby shelters, hoping for someone to call because Lola was microchipped but heard nothing. Bluestone became depressed, grieved the loss of Lola, but chose to move on. She ended up moving out of her parents' home and even got a new dog. On February 26, she received a call from Echo Park Shelter in Los Angeles, saying that the shelter found Lola, scanned her microchip, and immediately contacted Bluestone. For where Lola went still remains a question, and Bluestone appreciates and is very grateful that Lola is still alive. Well, as spring has officially sprung, Point Park students are certainly taking advantage of the nicer weather. Weather reporter Robert Fornatero is out in Village Park to tell us if the nicer weather is here to stay or if there are any major changes in our forecast.
Thanks, Sam. And if you can't tell by the warm weather outside, the people enjoying Village Park right now, or the outfits that we're wearing, we are going to be expecting some nice warmer temps moving into next week. As we look at tomorrow, we have a high of 80 degrees. 80, yes, starting with an 8, and a low of 61. However, going along with that weather, you know it's Pennsylvania, so it's not going to stay nice. We do have some thunderstorms moving in the afternoon, so although you might be able to wear your t-shirt and shorts, don't forget your umbrella, right? Yeah, I'm going to now move on to the rest of the week. Looking at the rest of the week, high temperatures will continue as the weekend begins, as we reach a high of 84 degrees with only a few scattered clouds breaking the view of the sun. As we get into the night and the rest of the weekend, though, temperatures will dramatically drop, only getting up to 57 degrees with some scattered showers in the morning. The rain will stay away at the start of the week. However, with temperatures hovering around the 50s all the way till Thursday, we are looking at reaching a high of 69, though the rain will continue and return with them popping up throughout the entire day. Now that might be everything from us, so we're going to stay here and enjoy this weather, but we're not done quite yet, and we're going to send things back on to the desk.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of NewsNight. If you want to see more, check out our social media pages on both TikTok and Instagram at UView Television.
You can also check out more episodes on our YouTube channel or our website, uview.pointpark.edu. I'm Annabella Gizzi.
And I'm Sam Myrick. From everyone here at NewsNight, thank you for watching and have a great evening.